information. NRG Spray Foam. Building green, living green.
This message was from a proud sponsor to KNLY 91.1 FM.
We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented or submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, President's Day. Some of us are at work, like right now. Some of us get to be at home today, which is really cool. So I thank you again for coming back. This is Rose with Today's Entrepreneur, 91.1 The Boss. We have a really exciting show today. I have two big bosses here in Houston, and so I'm really excited. Both of them I worked, one of them is actually I've worked with before, and you'll see some photos of those. We actually showed pictures of him a long time ago, and so I'm excited for him to come on and talk about the work that he's done here in Houston and all around. And then I have a super boss lady that I'm really excited to introduce. She's really a go-getter here in Houston and really someone that a lot of women I think look up to. So how was everyone's weekend? I know it was Valentine's Day weekend. Ivan is my guy that I always talk to behind the screen, and I always just ask him like how he's doing. Like, did you do anything special for Valentine's, Ivan? Something did happen this weekend too. I don't know if anybody's heard, but JJ Watt got married over the Valentine's Day weekend. Another like Houston native. Look how cute they are, so sweet, and so congratulations to them. And just a quick shout out to one of my really good friends. She is also a go-getter boss lady. She's the director of talent management and acquisition for She Magazine, and today's her birthday. So happy birthday, Erica. She's like the sweetest, kindest soul. So let me introduce the powerhouse that I have today. The first person I want to introduce is Mike Chabala. Thank you for being here with us, Mike.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, he is, if y'all don't know, if you've been living under a rock, he's a two-time major league soccer player, two-time champion.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Also a big entrepreneur here in Houston. He is the founder of Sphere Club.
Sphere.
Right? Yeah, Sphere?
Yep.
Okay. Because I know on your
Instagram handles, right? Yeah, our website, but
that all the time,
the name of the company is Sphere.
Okay.
But our Instagram handle is at sphere.club, and it's actually unique because we have two sides of our business.
Yeah.
One is a licensing model and one's an indoor model. So Sphere is our indoor and Club is our outdoor. So it actually worked out kind of unique and serendipitous, if you will, just because of the way that our domain sorted out in our Instagram handle.
So you're an outside club. So this is where you meet and you do a lot of your fitness work outside of
I mean, not to dive too far into it, but
Mm-hmm.
I started out of the back of an optometry practice, and the idea was to build this indoor, like lights down, music up concept similar to other boutique fitness concepts, Soul Cycle, Barry's Boot Camp.
Mm-hmm.
I just had no money and I just had an idea. So with that dream in mind, it was just constantly working towards it. But I had the resources that I had, which was no money, but just a work ethic. And so I started out in the back of an optometry practice that my friend let me use, and then we grew to a park. And while we were at parks, I was worried about people seeing my idea. And so I basically dumbed it down, and some friends went to Austin and said, hey, we want to like keep the ball rolling. Can we do it there? So as I was starting to focus on building an actual facility and we started to do these different types of classes, I was like, well, what we're doing outside isn't the same as what we're doing inside. So as I kept going forward and over time and, trial and error, said, oh, these are two different things. Like, why don't I just make a licensing model and just give this away to people? And then I'll continue to keep building this indoor model, which took time. So I actually built the outdoor model first, and it was just by chance. And then Sphere, I actually just created it beginning of this year. So in 2019, it didn't even exist. Right. The idea did. So just the two sides of how our company works. But as a brand, we're Sphere.
Yeah, and it works together really well. I mean, because, it's all the concept is fitness and being motivated and just not being still.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. And even more so, as I was just mentioning, as I set out to just build a fitness concept that was unique and different to the general fitness community, what I struggled with personally after finishing professional soccer was the lack of connection and community and interaction between my teammates. And for whatever it is, that once you leave that locker room, it's hard to stay in touch with those guys because they're just so focused on what they're doing, and you have these relationships that you've cultivated over years, and then it's gone like that.
Yeah, that's
so
gotta
with
be
that
tough.
being said, I was single. I was looking for a soulmate. I was lacking human connection from my teammates and the people that I was missing. I thought, like, okay, I'm gonna go find that at Fitness Concepts. I mean, I obviously love to go have a drink, and going to a bar wasn't necessarily exactly my emphasis. I was trying to find something to fill the gap of what I was doing on the field. So I started going to all these other workout concepts, and while I was at those concepts, every single person was like this on their phone. I'm like, how am I supposed to meet this cute girl next to me when she's too busy worrying about her Instagram and the messages that she was having from last night?
Yeah.
Rather
No one
than
was
like
living in the moment.
and be like, hey, what's your name? Like, nice to meet you. Shake my hand. What's up? How are you? Right? Like, nobody does that.
Yeah.
You sit next to somebody on an airplane and you never say, hi, hey, what's your name? Like, nice to meet you.
Right.
Right? Like, you're in each other's space. And so for me, as I set out to build a fitness concept, I'm actually building a team to help change the world. And I mean that in its seriousness, as I believe human connection is lacking, it's fading, and
sure.
my goal is to stand up against that. And so as much as we're building a unique fitness concept that is for everyone, because I've created different classes for different types of players, people with the ball and without, we more so focus on the locker room. Like, before you get there, you are meeting people. But by the time you finish, you now have 30 new people that you now know. We force connection, not like directly like, oh, you need to meet that person. No, but like uniquely through the workout, there's like this organic, synergy, this sphericalness, if you will, about how people actually work together.
Essentially, you're starting a family, really.
A club.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
A team, right?
Right,
Yeah, and
exactly.
that's really what it's about. And really, this whole thing has been selfishly for me to find my own personal way, like to find connection and build. I'm like, I need friends. Like, I'm just going to build this community. Like, let's do this, right? I mean, selfishly, like, I built it because I wasn't fulfilled. And I was missing it in other businesses. So I said, well, I'm going to make my own. And there was nothing in the market that was soccer-based fitness.
Right.
Spin class, there's boxing, there's yoga,
That's
there's
true.
bar.
That is very true. Yeah.
But there was nothing for the global game.
Right.
So, Sphere.
So do you feel like, okay, so I know that, okay, let's back up a little bit. You started your professional soccer experience with Houston Dynamo, correct? And then you moved on to, was it DC
Portland
or Portland?
first and DC, yeah. So
Okay.
I was drafted the first year. I was actually drafted to the San Jose Earthquakes, and then during the trade, the transition happened that Houston was purchased by San Jose, so they moved the team to Houston. So they had no name, they had no colors, there was nothing. It was like, I got a blank scarf that just had Houston on it, right? And our first name was actually Houston 1836. Which was when Texas declared its independence, but it was actually a highly controversial issue, right, within our community. So they changed the name to the Houston Dynamo. Fast forward 2 championships later with some of the best guys I've ever had the opportunity to play, which actually for me as an entrepreneur is what I have learned is not, my MBA, which I never had. I graduated early with an economic degree, but like I had 10 years of professional experience being a part of a locker room that was a bunch of winners. Like we won.
Yeah.
Like we didn't just play soccer. Like I was a part of, and I didn't play in either one of those championships, but I was at school every single day getting my ass kicked, excuse my language, but I was getting taught about how to be humble, about how to be selfless and work harder than the next guy. And it's not about getting there. No, it was about staying. And you look back at those rosters of lineups, and I'll go down in history as some of the best teams. And I was led by one of the best coaches, which I hated at the time because he never played me. But now I step back, and I'm like, I see myself coaching my team and operating a business very similar to what that was. So super grateful.
Lesson.
Yeah, but and then as you grow, I obviously was traded to Portland, DC, and then my last year I came back to Houston when my grandfather passed away, and I realized I'm not playing forever, and I need to figure out what I'm doing afterwards. And I just knew that this city was vibrant. It was ripe. It was ready for change, and it had such amazing people that are doing amazing things. And I just knew that I had unfinished business here. So I begged the coach to give me a shot. Came back, opportunity happened that I got one more contract year, and I spent that year in 2013 really reestablishing myself in the community and figuring out what I was going to do. And from there, bounced around with some oil and gas jobs, private equity, wealth management. Failed out of all of them until Sphere got to a point where I could say, okay, I'm going to go to do this full time.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you tried the corporate world, and I think for a lot of
try. Just want to highlight that.
So 'cause I think a lot of with entrepreneurs nowadays is they either come from that background and they're like, oh, I cannot work for anybody, and then or they try excuse me, to be an entrepreneur. And then they go, oh my gosh, this is too much. I can't do this. I'm not clocking anywhere. There's no structure. So then they go back to the corporate world. So with your experience in that way, you kind of went, from being on a team, and then you went to the corporate world, and now you're like, okay, I want to have my own business.
Yeah, I think there's I've witnessed a lot of entrepreneurs, right? So real estate, like you gotta love being by yourself, right? And you gotta love rejection and being able to wake up every single day to go and eat what you kill. I grew up in an environment where I played golf growing up, and I love that individualism and that side of it, but I was also very much accustomed to being a part of a team, which I loved being able to lean on and support and to have players that I could trust, but also that they could trust me in return. Right. And so I think that there's value in both, but for what I looked at, as an entrepreneur, I didn't set up and be like, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur when I grow up or when I finish playing. No, I had no clue. But what I realized, and I think as you grow and as you get older, you realize who you are and what you like and dislike. What I hated was somebody telling me where to be for the past 30 years of my life, what to wear. Right? Like those things for me, I just couldn't deal with anymore. And, as I've just evolved, I just got to a point where I want to wear my own clothes. I want to do my own thing. I want to be my own person, and I want to create something that doesn't exist and offer something to the community or the world that is needed. And I think at the same time, I had never had a job before in my life outside of soccer. Like, thank God, I was so lucky to have that opportunity. So for me, my uncle told me, he's like, go do it, because that negative data will be positive. At least you figured it out, right? So I put on the suit and tie, shaved every day, hated it, right? Like somebody told me where to be, flew around, hated it. I spend $5,000 and take out these traders and do all these things. Well, I was like, I'm over it. And I think you just figure out what you really want to do with your life and what that looks like.
Did it feel like it just wasn't even your passion?
And that's what was the hardest part, is because I spent my whole entire life just doing something that I love. Like, it wasn't work, right? But I also set out to do something that there was in my mind, there was no failure. Like, my back was against the wall, and it was exactly what I had to do. I was either going to become a professional soccer player, or work at Target, work at Walmart. And I don't mean those jobs in any negative way, right? I come from Fresno, California. I come from a humble family, hardworking, middle class parents that just work their butt off to give me every opportunity, right? And I don't say that in any way other than that it was going to be one way or it was going to be the other, and I left no room for the conversation if it's not going to work, right? So as an entrepreneur, as in real estate, whatever, you don't have a choice. It's either I'm going to make it or I'm not, right? And so as I've taken on this, being a professional soccer player is lonely. It is miserable. It's attractive and sexy. Everybody thinks, oh, you're on TV, you're a professional soccer player, you're rich and famous. No, my first contract.
They don't see behind the scenes and what it takes to,
and that's
even
fine. It's
get
any job, right?
Exactly.
You see what Instagram shows you now, whatever else. But you don't see the 12-hour days, 15-hour days. You don't see the rejection.
And nobody really talks about it or want to show that part. I think that part is, I think it's really, really important. So,
but
okay, so Mike, thank you so much for that. We will talk more about it definitely recently, and I do want to touch on your family in California and where you came from there. And then when we come back, I'm gonna I'll introduce her now. Actually, it's Julia Wang. She's one of the top realtors here in Houston, and when we get back, we will talk to her a little bit about entrepreneurship and what it means to her and her real estate life. And thanks. We'll be right back. Okay.
We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your fusion radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY, New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
It started as a dream. When I was a little kid, I always wanted to have my own restaurant. And it was a dream that finally we had the opportunity to build it here in the Woodlands. And I'm so happy with it.
It's a really authentic Italian food. I try to maintain the most original possible. It's very important. Every day I make my fresh pasta.
Chi mangia bene, mangia italiano. Please come and visit us.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
Today with Cachet, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 to 10:30. 91.1 The Boss. Watch me live, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget, 91.1 The Boss. Today with Cachet.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
Hey, I'm Sebastian de Villafranca. Together with Daniel Bisoño and Diana Mota, we will bring you the latest information regarding entertainment and gossip all the way from Mexico City. Join us for a really fun hour together only on KLNY 91.1 FM.
Turn on your glam today. The Jenna Klein collection is here, elaborated with natural products. Give yourself a compliment with our organic lip glosses in more than 15 shades. With the Jenna Klein lip gloss collection, you can hydrate your lips and keep that glamorous look that you need. Turn on your glam. Visit jennaklein.com. And don't forget our skincare collection with natural ingredients that will improve the skin's appearance and prevent visible signs of aging. We have everything you need to achieve smooth and vitalized skin. jennaklein.com. Turn on your glam today.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. It's time to change. If you like country, we play it. If you like pop, we play it. If you like Latin music, we play it. If you like rock and roll, we play it. Because no one does fusion music like we do. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you for coming back. It's Rose with the Boss Radio 91.1 KNLY, and today I have two major powerhouses. Like I said earlier, we were speaking to Mike Chabala, who is the founder of Sphere, and also, was a two-time championship for the Houston Dynamo. And he's like making me nervous over here because he's got his
you
phone.
better say it right, girl. You're trying to get something.
Yeah.
Oh, the soccer thing. Yeah. The soccer players. Yeah. You know, when I moved
everybody knows.
When we moved here, everybody's like, the Dominoes? Wait, what's soccer? And they thought, are you a swimming team?
Oh
like,
my
what are you guys?
No, Houston Dynamo.
There you go.
That's right. And then I have Julia Wang, who is a big-time realtor here in Houston, and she's come to talk to us about her career and then some of the things that she's doing. More specifically, next Sunday or this coming Sunday, she is going to be one of the hosts for the Reverie Art Show. And so, hi,
Hi,
Julia.
thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Welcome,
This is
welcome,
fun.
welcome.
Something different.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, okay, so tell us who Julia Wang is.
Who is Julia Wang? Well, I am a realtor. I'm a Houston realtor, and I kind of got, pretty known in the social media world. I was actually, surprisingly, I was shocked, chosen as the #1 Houston realtor on Instagram this year. And, I think a lot of realtors just like, especially brand new realtors, they kind of just like following me because, I brand differently, I market differently, and I really think I'm doing something that not a lot of other people even know how to do.
Right. Because
So
this whole new social media thing, it has been
is.
around for a while, but more so now for businesses, they're really, really utilizing
and I think,
it.
With real estate, to me, anyone can buy a house. And right now, honestly, the computer does everything. They can pull the comps, they can do all that. But like I tell my team, you're selling yourself, right? So
Right.
you need to be someone they want to work with, right? Because why should they choose you over the 10 other realtors? Everyone
Yeah,
in their
and
mama
there's
is
so
a realtor
many
right now,
realtors,
right?
right?
So it's like, why should they choose you? And I think, with me, I think all my clients know that I really enjoy my job. I like helping people. And sometimes, honestly, it's not even about the money. I just like being around people, meeting new people, helping people. And yeah, I'm just super lucky to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you mentioned you are voted. There's an Instagram that we're going to put up here so that people can see. Tell everyone what your Instagram is, by the way. What's your handle?
It's Julia Wang _HTX.
Okay, so you're voted Houston's realtor on #1 Houston's realtor on social media. How does one get chosen to be?
I don't know. It's been a crazy ride. So back in 2000, God, what year was it? 17, right? I've had my Instagram since 2010. But in 2017, I decided to completely rebrand my Instagram because, honestly, I've had my, back in my party days, like no one wants to see me doing like beer pong and like all of that
I knew
stuff,
you looked
right?
familiar. That was why,
I was like, none of my clients need to, see me doing that. So I kind of rebranded myself in 2017.
Which is a really important point, especially when you have your business on Instagram. Like,
Exactly.
Okay, it's great. You're having fun. You're having drinks, but if you really want people to take you seriously, that's part of your branding is
Oh
that
yeah,
Instagram page.
and I always ask myself too. I have 2 kids. It's like, what do I want my kids seeing too, right? Because with social media, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 20 years. Your kids can be easily pull stuff up, and it's like, how do you want to represent yourself, right? And with my clients too. Now I don't drink at all. I'm completely sober, but I always want to appear professional. And to me, I always try to be the best person I can be and portray myself in the best light, not just on Instagram, but in real life also. That's really important to me.
Yeah, that is true. If you're talking about, like looking professional, I was looking at your Instagram page. Like, you always look so cute. I'm like, who is this girl stylist?
Thank you. It hasn't always been that way. I've had some pretty weird styles over the years.
Coincidentally, I work with a really great designer here in Houston, Nicholas and he's Mysterious by NPM, and we actually put together a dress for one of your birthday parties, right?
Yeah.
And,
so
I don't know if you have that, Ivan, but there's a photo of her, and I've heard that your birthday parties and Halloween parties are pretty amazing, and so.
I go all out for my parties, not gonna lie. I have 2 kind of really big parties a year. One is on Halloween, and that's kind of when I invite all of my past clients out,
That's nice.
Future clients, all of my agents that are on my team, and I just love dressing up. I love playing dress up. I never grew out of it. So.
Yeah. It's kind of like a girly thing.
Yeah.
So, it's one of the best part about being a girl. But okay, so you're extremely busy. For the right reasons, right? Your business is a huge part of you, but you're, like you mentioned, you're also a mom and a wife. So can you give us maybe some advice to the other women out there or moms out there trying to balance that life, and how do you turn work mode off? If that's even possible, while running a really successful business?
I mean, to me, I think the biggest advice that I have is, at the end of the day, body, mind, and spirit are all connected. And, that's why I stopped drinking, because I just felt like I could not be the best realtor while I was feeling crappy, right? Because, I mean, no matter what, even if it's 2 drinks, you don't feel right the next day, right?
Yeah.
So that was really important to me, to just make sure that all aspects of myself are aligned, So whether it's, eating right, working out, making sure that I'm in good mental health, like always being aware of how I'm feeling, right? And if I'm feeling overloaded, just loving myself enough and taking time away to step back and allowing myself to maybe go on vacation or just rest. And I think my biggest challenge was that work-life balance up until maybe about the middle of last year. I mean, I had a lot of nervous breakdowns where I would just cry, and sometimes I'd be like, I quit real estate, I can't do this anymore, because it was just so much, just taking care of the kids and having my team and doing all my deals. But, I think it's now I realize that, not everything is, to me, everything's like crucial, right? But then there's some things that can wait till the next day, right? And I've really kind of learned.
You can't do everything
exactly
right now.
And I also brought on another assistant, so now I have 2 assistants, which that
well, let's
helps
talk
a
about your
lot.
team. So you started the Julia Wang team, correct?
I did. So I have a team of brand new agents. So basically, I started this because a lot of agents fail their first year. I mean, I don't know if you know the statistics, but 9 out of 10 agents fail their first year. And I really think the reason for that is because they don't have a mentor. They don't have anyone caring what they do or telling them what to do. Before I started my team, I did train a lot of agents and mentor a lot of agents. And then I had just so many people reaching out to me on Instagram, like, hey, like, can you mentor me? Can you train me? So it kind of just happened organically.
Yeah.
And now I've had about 15 to 20 agents that have graduated from my team or are currently on my team. And I have to say, I mean, a lot of these agents are doing better than I ever even expected,
That's
so
good. Well, that's all has to do with your mentorship.
Well, yeah, and I just think I let them know that, they have the potential to do and be anything they want, so it's not just real estate, but I think just in general, I always try to push people to be their best self and to not create limitations on what they can do and who they can be.
Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned, about your sobriety, and I think that's why you were chosen to be one of the hosts for the Reverie Art Show, because they are benefiting the Peace of Mind Foundation, which has a lot to do with mental health and mental illness. And so tell us a little bit about that, and how you've conquered it, and now you're moving forward, and how it's helped you.
Yeah. So, I mean, growing up, I think when a lot of people see me, they think I live this like picture perfect life, and I actually didn't. I come from a single family household. It was just me and my mom for most of my life, and I did struggle with addiction, alcohol and drugs. I mean, honestly, starting at 14, I started partying very, very young, and then in my 20s, it kind of really just spiraled out of control. And I think that along, I'm naturally a very anxious person, so I do think I used alcohol and drugs to kind of self-medicate almost. And I mean, it's kind of like this never-ending cycle, because you use that to relieve your anxiety, but then it makes you more anxious, right, the next day. So it kind of got to the point where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. It was like, especially after I had kids, it was like, I don't want my kids seeing this, because I had a father who struggled with addiction and mental illness. And I mean, he eventually, he passed on. And I didn't want to relive that, and I don't, I was the one to end the cycle. And, that's when I just decided to get sober, and I mean, I've never looked back, and it's I have to say, at the minute I got sober was when everything in my life just exploded. Like everything, all of my dreams that I wanted to happen came true, and it all really happened within a span of a year, because I think as soon as I made the decision to kind of live my best life, that's when the universe brought all of these great things to me.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, thank you for sharing
Of
that,
course.
because sometimes we have to hear that from somebody that has gone through it. And that there is hope,
There is. And I think, with me, in my 20s, I didn't have anyone, right? And like that was just something, and especially in my culture, like you don't talk about that, right? Like it was always kind of the elephant in the room, even in my family, my dad committed suicide, like we just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So to me, it's super important, because it does exist, and it's a real issue. issue, and a lot of people suffer from it. And to me, it's, I think, awareness that will create results, right?
Yeah, thank you. And that's what really that Reverie Art Show night is going to be about, and supporting other local artists and bringing awareness to mental illness and mental health. So one last thing from Mike, if you want just to kind of give us an advice for all of our entrepreneurs and where they should find Sphere and information about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we live in a period where, right, like we're trying to keep up with other influencers or entrepreneurs that are setting this bar, right? The private jet and nice clothes and the great Instagram locations and travel and etc. I think that the one thing that I've personally learned, and I admire you for sharing and being so candid, because I think those are hard things to discuss, and even for myself as a leader, I'm far from perfect. I think a lot of times we, and myself included, rely on what I've done rather than what I'm doing and what I'm going to do, right? So I think, like an athlete, and I speak to my team like I'm still in the locker room, and one thing that I'm personally doing now is taking my own water break when I need to, as you mentioned, when you need to go on vacation, when you need to unplug, because sometimes you get to a point that the business becomes you rather than, and you lose that identity of who you really are. And it's amazing because you find something that you're so passionate about that you want to wake up every single morning and just go for it. But it's really important to maintain that mental health, and it's super important to maintain your well-being and your physical presence. And so for me personally, one thing that I've just been working on is finding my own balance, because as an entrepreneur, you really have to maintain that schedule and find when you need to structure your breaks, when you need to have that family time. And I mean, for me, like not having the family, not having the relationships that I can play 24 hours a day and like work towards my business, it's also hurt me. So to other entrepreneurs and those that are out there, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to rest. It's okay to play your own game and not compare yourself to others, because as I set out to create a company that was mirrored after other, businesses in my field that I'm competing with, I'm so much different, not only myself, but like our company. So like what they do and structure their businesses is completely different than mine. Like I thought, I have to create a business model that is exactly like SoulCycle. Well, like, no, I don't. Like right. I am my own player, my own spot. So, and the last thing I would say is surround yourself with those that are going to sharpen you up, that are going to challenge you, that are not going to just be your supporters, but they're always going to be, they could be your biggest, criticizer. Like they're going to be the one that's actually going to call you.
Stay away from the entrepreneur killers. You know what I mean?
And that's really what it comes down to, because at the end of the day, you just need to find that place where you're at and focus on how you're going to personally change your own game.
Great. Those are all really great advice. So if you want more from Mike, definitely hit him up on his Instagram. His information is there. Go to his club and check him out and work out with him. What
take a shot. Honestly, like if you like running, if you like working out, if you want to be healthy and fit, if you're looking for a team, or not even just feeling like you want to try something new. It's a new year. Like we always get into those same routines, going to the same gym. Like
do something different.
Just come. Like
try
literally right now, we do 7-day free trials.
Absolutely.
Sphere.club on the website, at Sphere.club on any social media platform. I'm at Mike Chibala, but I mean, if you just Google Sphere Soccer Fitness, I mean, you'll be able to find us. And I mean, any person that messages, I'll give you a free class. Like I said, like you just won't, you won't regret it. And I really mean this. And we have, again, people say soccer fitness, like there is classes without the ball that I would challenge every fitness company in the world and our coaches against them. And I truly mean that, not in a supercilious way, but like really what I've created and our team has created over the past, coming up on 5 years is truly remarkable. And I'm grateful that we're still under the radar, because there's a lot of amazing things that are coming up and happening. And, I'm grateful to say that this company is from Houston, Texas, and something that we'll be very proud of in the future, to say that we're a Texas-born company that's going to change the world. So Sphere.club, if you guys are interested, I promise you won't regret it.
Good. And then if you are looking for a realtor, or maybe want to get into the business, we have a great coach here who's been very successful, Julia, and all of their information will be online and back on Facebook. So if you want any more information on that, that, definitely check us out. KNLY 91.1 The Boss Radio. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Julia.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
And thank you. And we'll see you guys at the Reverie Art Show, February 23rd from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. You'll get to see Julia there. Great Gatsby theme. Come support your local artists and local entrepreneurs and mental health. Love, peace, and happiness. Thank you.